We're live. All right, let's give this a shot. Trying some new stuff today. Wrong glasses. Let's see. So first, the Dodgers did get, it looks like at least, one of their draft picks was signed. I'll just pull this over here so y'all can see it. It's Kendall George. I mean, that doesn't look like that young man has signed. I don't know what is. So hopefully that's what we got going on. Hopefully he is signed. It's our first round pick. Haven't seen anything in the news yet. So he's definitely, looks like that's Arizona. And oh, who knows? Maybe they set something up for him in Baltimore. Who knows? But I think that's in Arizona. Looks like he's ready to go and start playing baseball. So that's really cool. And now to really get started with the topics of the day. Let's see. I'm going to move some stuff around a little bit. Trying to figure some stuff out. Let's see, where did my movie go? All right, so as promised, and we can stop this as we want. My grill there. Ugh. This is a interview that I had today, or actually a couple hours ago, with Falla, who is on my staff. He's a great prospect writer, but he's also a hardcore Angel fan. So I'm going to go and get this rolling. And let's see. I'm also just checking things out. Hey there, Michael. Do I think who can make the postseason roster? Oh, the Kendall Jordan. No, I don't think so. No. What's the earliest date a trade can happen? Right now. It can go now. I'm going to move the chat over here so I can see it. And I am going to start the video that I took with Ryan. It was on what's it called, Zoom. For some reason it recorded the wrong way that I wanted to, but we'll roll with it. And here we go. And we can stop it as needed. I'll be watching the chat. So, and there's a really good nugget in there that I like a lot. So here we go.
So we have Ryan Falla with us. He is a staff writer for us at Dodgers 2080, and for most of you should already know this, but he is also an Angels fan. So we're going to ask him a few questions, and he's dedicated. He's been there, done that with the Angels organization. He's had a lot of interactions with players at various levels, and so I'm not going to call him an insider because that's kind of probably taking it a little far for any of us, but he's got his thumb right on the carotid artery, the pulse there of what's going on in the Angels organization, and also kind of represents a good overall view of what Angel fans are thinking. So thanks, Ryan, for joining us.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's always great to talk baseball. In recent weeks, there's been a lot to talk about regarding the Dodgers and the Angels, so it's nice to just be able to get all of that out.
Yeah, definitely. So we saw today Ken Rosenthal saying there's no, I'm going to paraphrase, there's no way the Angels are going to make a trade with the Dodgers. And, so your initial reactions to that, Ryan?
Well, as soon as I saw that, I just thought that if Artie said
Didn't put the picture over what I expected.
It's probably the best move to trade him to the
Failure
Dodgers,
on my
because
movie.
It seems like
I swear I had
whenever
it all set.
he decides one
Bummer.
course of action, it always seems like he picks just like the worst course.
I'll keep some of this out. We can
It's
go
kind
through.
of funny. And we had chatted a little bit yesterday, and just kind of your feelings about, what it's going to, what do you think it takes for the Angels to actually, first of all, trade Shohei, if they're going to do it, if you even think they would do it. I mean, is there a number of games they need to be behind the wild card? And do you think that it's even worth them doing it, considering he is worth a lot of box office?
Well, we've seen in recent past with Artie Moreno that just because he says he's going to go one way doesn't mean he always does that. There have been plenty of times where he's just done the complete opposite of whatever his stated intentions were, whether it be this most recent sale of the Angels that he pulled back only a couple
There's the
weeks
picture.
after the sale was announced. And
Right.
going back further, like you can see it when the the Angels' last interaction with the Dodgers.
Is
They
everything
were
coming
supposed to
through out
trade
there?
Luis Rengifo,
Especially the
Ross
audio.
Stripling, Jock Peterson, and I believe there was a prospect involved too.
Yeah, Andy
And-
Paez.
Yes, exactly. And just mere days later, he walked it back because he just gets so emotional and he gets so wrapped up in his ego. And if things aren't serving him perfectly the way he wants it to, especially with the Dodgers because he sees them as like market rivals, then things will just collapse. You know, so it's just hard to really quantify how he's feeling in certain states. And regarding actually trading Ohtani, it's just so tough because the Angels, throughout this season, they've showed that they have a talented team that can compete when everything is clicking. Back in June, they were one of the better teams in the AL. They were second in the wild card, 9 games above 500, I believe, at their best. And then they just took an extreme tumble over the next 2 weeks. I think they've gone like 5-15, maybe 5-16 since then. And no one really saw that coming. It's hard to really like see something like that happening when you're starting to really see all the gears turning. So there's this belief that the Angels can still flip it around, compete like they were competing in June, put themselves in a wild card position, but they just keep losing like such easy gimme games. Like yesterday with Houston being up 7-3 in the 8th, you lose that game. And it's Kansas City, they've done it to the Rockies, they did it with the White Sox, did it with the Diamondbacks, did it with the Padres, and it's just like, how many games you have to lose before you realize you're not in it? And it's just so hard because the team likes to win one week, they lose the next week. But I think they would probably have to be like more than 6, 7, or 8 games out of the wild card for them to actually really, really consider trading Ohtani. This Yankee series that's going on right now is probably going to be like, if not a deciding factor, it's going to be the next closest step, depending on if they get swept or sweep or whatever happens.
Okay. Well, let's bring out the little trade tumbler machine. I'm going to start with the top 100. We're going to keep Dodger minor leaguer names out of it, but I'm going to read them off just so that we can, have those names as a kind of a point of reference to go, okay, so in the top 100 on the MLB site for prospects, you got Nick Frasso at 89. You've got Ryan Pepio at 78. Emmett Sheehan, who got a W today, at 73. You've got former Angel great Andy Paez at 54. You got Gavin Stone at 49. Dalton Rushing at 47. Dalton just keeps climbing. It's kind of insane. Michael Bush at 34. Diego Cartaya at 19, and Bobby Miller and James Outman and Miguel Vargas are no longer in that top 100. But those are young. I figure just about anyone is available in a Shohei trade. Like if you've heard those names, all including the guys that I mentioned that are no longer in the top 100. Like how many of those types of players would it take, and what kind of veterans what kind of mix is there?
The Angels they're in a position where their core is still young enough where if they can get some depth that's coming up through the system to support maybe 1 or 2 big league pieces that come through, like they could really do a lot with that. So it's going to take a younger MLB starter, someone who's already been in the MLB and has the experience, but isn't totally like a full-time vet yet. It's going to take young infield too, because the Angels infield, despite having talent in it, has just been super unreliable this year. You have Anthony Rendon at third, making almost like $40 million. He played more games in 2019 with the Nationals than he has his entire Angels contract. So you're going to need something that is cheap and can offset how much money he's making, and that can reliably cover. So right off the bat, infield, starting pitching, you can always use depth everywhere. The Angels outfield is probably the strongest point. Even without the Mike Trout injury, the outfield is still performing. Mickey Moniak is probably one of the best reserve players in the AL, not all of baseball, with what he's doing offensively. Taylor Ward, he can hold it down. He gets hot, he gets cold, but he's young. He's under arbitration for like 3 more years. And right field is probably like the most susceptible to needing help. Joe Adell can maybe be a full-time starter. This season is definitely going to see Joe Adell take the reins, and if he could grow into it, then the Angels will be set. But other than that, like, they could probably use someone like James Outman, someone young who could really hold it down, who has a lot of potential. The Angels they could use catching. They have Logan O'Hoppe.
Yeah.
He came up this year. He was on a Rookie of the Year pace. I know it was only a month, but it's always great to see that out of your youth. So catching-wise, you could definitely still take like a Dalton Rushing or a Diego Cartaya, but it's not an immediate place of necessity.
Right.
And I would also say, like, if you could trade for coaches, we'll take Dave Roberts too, because like this coaching regimen is not getting it done.
Yeah, we'll leave that quiet a little bit with Kyle out there.
Yes,
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, but you know, it's yeah, I saw the Angels looking good at the beginning of the season, which is, you know, it was a good start. The pitching looked pretty decent and stuff like that. In terms of, you guys do have some young pitching, you know, like, but how would it take? What type of young pitchers would do you think they would want from the Dodgers? They got a ton of right-handers, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this modern era of baseball has seen that you need high velocity guys to really succeed. Like, you can't get too far having a rotation or even a pitching staff in general that's full of like field guys who throw low, mid-90s. They live off deception. Like, that just doesn't work. And the Angels are going to need to replace that in the rotation when Ohtani leaves. So it's probably tough for Dodger fans to hear. The Angels are going to ask for someone like Bobby Miller. And
and they should.
Yeah, exactly. And like, if you could get him and a smaller prospect package, that would probably be a better option. Of course, you want to get as much depth as possible, but you need guys who can help you compete in 2024.
Yeah, and then, you know, as we've talked about, you know, the Dodgers are loaded in the minor league system. I mean, what was that, like 8 guys in the top 100? You know, they got, you know, I'm looking at this list, and, you know, they got, you know, a guy like Peter Hubick way down at number 29. I mean, come on, Alex Freeland, 24. Jesus Galiz, who we've seen quite a bit this year, at 22.
Yeah.
They're loaded. And I've talked about this quite a bit. They need to offload some people. It's only fair. You know, the logjam showing up, but yeah, it just seems that you know, it seems like it's a good match if Artie doesn't get in the way. I'm sure that there's other teams out there that they're gonna. You got to go for a guy like Shohei, even if it's only for 2 months plus the playoffs. I mean, what do you let's say the Angels are out of it and it's January 31st. What do you put the odds at that the Angels?
Hey, there's a good, solid. I think it's actually a really good take from Ryan coming up. So, might want to pay attention on it's coming up.
Trade him by the trade deadline.
It's a 50-50 split. It just depends on how Artie Moreno feels when he wakes up in the morning. That's hard to quantify. I would love, if they were that deep out of it, I would love for them to trade Ohtani and like just show that like you're willing to do whatever it takes to improve the team going forward, because that would entice him to at least listen to offers in the off season.
Yeah.
But by just doing nothing to move forward, by staying stagnant, like, you're not getting any better. And it's just so hard to say that Artie Moreno would see the logic of it because he's just so emotionally driven. It's just really hard to say.
That's one of the best takes I've heard in general is, you know, they trade him, they get some players, and Ohtani signs back because now they got more talent. That's a really good take. I got to make sure to slice that one and put it out on its own.
What do y'all think about that take? I think it's pretty darn good. Get something, build your team back, and then try to re-sign them. That's what they should do. But you know, they won't. But They should.
There's a little bit of, that's a
You know,
good
it
one.
just seems obvious, it just seems like
Yeah.
the obvious thing to do, but Artie Moreno has never been the one to do like the obvious move, and it just sucks to like, because he represents the Angels franchise, so it's just tough like seeing all the time the negative press and attention coming at the Angels, because I would rather see Artie Moreno getting called out than the players on the field. Like I get like players need to produce, but the dysfunction comes from the top. And the players, like, as much responsibilities on their shoulders, like, they're trying their hardest with what's being given to them. And I just don't think the Angels are going to get better unless Artie's gone, like, regardless of even if they trade Ohtani.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, as a baseball fan, I'm a fan. I like players that stick with the team, but at the same time, I get it with Shohei. And you talked about it at the beginning. He was going to sell the team, and then he backed out. Like, what are you doing?
That was one of the worst days in Angels history. And his whole excuse for it was, we have unfinished business. Like, you're not done just dragging this franchise into the grave. Like, you have more dirt that you want to throw on this? I don't understand.
Yeah, now he goes down as the owner that probably lost Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you guys are going to get a draft pick if they don't trade him. Logically speaking, you have to make the move. And I talked about this last night. It's kind of the Rockies when they had Nolan Arenado and wanted to trade him. He wanted out, and they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't trade with the Dodgers. And so instead, they end up paying $50 million extra to the Cardinals along with Nolan Arenado, who's a great player. And they got back, really mediocre prospects. Hey, great job. Way to spite yourself. Now what?
But the real fear with trading Ohtani, too, is like, well, maybe you might not get a quality package back, but I do believe in the Angels GM, Perry Manasian. He has been great so far with his trades. Last year, he got Mickey Moniak for no Syndergaard rental. He got Logan O'Hoppe.
Wait, I got a trade proposal for you. Yeah. I'm going to speak out for Andrew Friedman and say we're willing to trade you Noah Syndergaard for Mickey Moniak right now.
And if it helps the Angels get to the playoffs, I'll do anything at this point.
Syndergaard's he's in the minors right now. It's been rough for him this year, but I like Moniak. He's a San Diego guy. And so so we got 2 weeks till the trade deadline. Do you think, just forgetting Shohei a bit, are there any other players that you think the Angels, other than Rendon, which you're not going to you can't give him away? You're going to have to, you wrote it 4 months ago. It was like the only way that they, that Rendon goes is if he's forced as part of the Ohtani package. I think they should do that. They should try to do that.
Yeah, I think if you can find a balance between getting a suitable prospect package back with balancing the contract dump, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be a GM or owner who traded Ohtani in a complete salary dump. So you still have to find a way to like really get value back, and that's not just like hard dollars.
Yeah, and I think you wrote about it too. The Angels can include some money in that.
Yeah,
exactly. It doesn't have to be the whole thing, because no team's going to take that. But if they go, well, we're willing to pay $10 million off the top for each season. I think it's 3 more years remaining of that pain, and then $10 million off the top of that. Plus, you want that top. You mentioned Bobby Miller, and I think that's the type of pitcher you want, that you need to get. It's got to be someone like that, or that. I don't know, the guy that pitched for the Orioles today was Grayson Rodriguez. Looked really good until the sixth inning. You got to get someone like that in order to make it happen. And really, any team trading for Ohtani is getting a rental. They got to look at it that way. Especially a team, I think if the Dodgers get him, it puts them in the driver's seat to re-sign him. But if let's just say he goes to Baltimore, okay, or Tampa. He's not going to stay there. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So that, but is it worth it? And I look at it as from the Dodgers' perspective, they have, I think, enough prospect talent to make the Angels happy, and still have enough left to still keep churning them out. They've got plenty.
I agree.
So I think it's really Angels could get a lot from the Dodgers. It's really too bad that they're like that.
You're telling me Artie Moreno it's just so hard to deal with him. It's so hard being an Angels fan and just waking up every day knowing he's like in control of your peace of mind.
Well, I when I started following baseball, one of my favorite players was Andy Messersmith. He was on the Dodgers. I started following him in '73, and then I started to learn more. And it's like the Dodgers got him from the Angels, and it was a big trade. It was the Dodgers got like Andy Messersmith and Ken McMullen, and the Angels got Frank Robinson and Bill Singer, Bobby Valentine, if you recall that name, who wrecked himself on the old crappy Angels fence a chain link fence or whatever that they had. Mm-hmm. That dude was going to be a star. So that was a huge trade, and there was a couple others involved in that. And it was a trade that actually benefited both sides, and that's kind of that's a win. If the Angels are going, hey, we're going to trade Shohei Ohtani, so what if the Dodgers win the World Series? So what?
Yeah, it doesn't affect the Angels.
Yeah, and it's just insane.
Yeah, it could be an easy win for both teams if there was just a little more cooperation on Arnie's end, but that just never seems to be the case.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's wrap this up, Ryan. I really appreciate it. Your insights are just great insights. Looking forward to the Dodgers 2080 faithful to hear this as soon. Maybe tonight. It may have to be tomorrow. We'll see. See how long it takes me to get a good picture and put it in there to work this thing and do a little editing, which I usually don't do. As you know, I do everything live and just kind of roll with it and don't edit a darn thing. But appreciate you, Ryan. And then
thank you for having me. I appreciate that a lot. It's always great talking baseball with you.
Definitely. All right, man. All right.
All right. So that was our time with Ryan. A lot of good chatter going on. It's obviously, I think we're all in definite agreement that Artie Moreno is just a tragically bad owner. And it's too bad for Angels fans. I mean, I feel bad for them in a way. Not too bad, but you know what I'm saying. And so, doing stuff like that is just... it's just a terrible way of doing business. There we go. Change that back. All right. But it's his problem, not ours. But hey, so let's talk about briefly. The Cardinals came up. I think that's a team we can probably be doing business with. We have So pull up their pictures. So we saw the names, Montgomery and Hicks, and you hear about Flaherty, right? Those are kind of the big ones. Someone suggested Gonsolin for Montgomery. One of the interesting things about Gonsolin, he is 29. Let's go to their active roster real quick here. Ooh, 4th place. My goodness. Yeah, I like the idea of getting Hicks too. You need that more power arms for sure. Let's see, where's their roster? We'll go to the 40-man. So they're gonna, Flaherty. Oh, didn't they? No, they just released a lefty, or does it DHA? There it is. Yeah, Genesis Cabrera. They just DFA'd him. Lefty throws hard. Let's go get him. Even though, hey, let's be honest, boy, Mr. Mr. Vesia today, and the last few times he's been really good. Caleb's been good. They both were really good today. Let's see, Steven Matz, I'm not touching that guy. So Jordan Montgomery, lefty, big guy. He's only a little bit older than Gonsolin, to be honest with you. But he is a free agent. We got Gonsolin for a couple more years at least. Chris Stratton. Okay, and then Wainwright. Ugh. And then, of course, Nolan Arenado. We talked about him yesterday. Yeah, I wouldn't. With Gonsolin, I think he's a nice depth arm, and I think you want to have him. But he hasn't had any playoff success. And usually by the end of the year, he's pretty beat up. I don't know what it is, but that it's maybe mechanics, I don't know. Yeah, Hicks can be what Suarez and Garcia were. Yeah, you need those big, let's say, those wipeout guys come in and just dominate. Without, I'm guessing we don't get Hudson back. You never know, but I'm guessing no. Bruzdar, despite the fact he can throw 100, is not that guy. Evan Phillips is pretty nasty, obviously. So I'd like to see some more heat. Who knows about Victor? Yeah, I think we need some more heat coming out of the bullpen. Stuff is good. And that Kenyon Middleton, he throws hard too. Yeah, Mikolas, innings eater. He's got to shave that goofy mustache. Sean, trading Catman reminds me of trading Strickland to the Jays. Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. I'm not trading too much for Major League depth this year. Maybe in the off season. Yeah, Trinan's doubtful. For sure. Yeah, I almost forget about him. Or maybe I'll see him when I go on the Christian Faith and Family Night. Maybe he'll be there. But other than that, I kind of forget about him. So we got Cardinals. We talked about Shohei. There was a few games today. The Dominican Summer League. Let's go to that real quick. We had, let's see. Oh, never mind. Suspended, postponed in Dominican and in Las. Okay, we got a W. Our ACL guys got a win over the Royals, and who we have? Sammy Munoz, soon to be at Rancho, 2 for 4. He'll get the power up later. He's still young. He's a young'un. Meza, yeah. Gosh, that's another one. That's another one, folks. Yeah, Jose Meza. Just, what's he, 20? And, yeah, Gerald Perez. He was at Rancho briefly. That's Jefferson, right? I'm going to struggle with his last name. Jefferson Valladares. You're welcome for that great accent. Wilman Diaz. Dang, man, 241. What is it? Carlito Rojas. Jefferson also is a catcher. Carlos. I thought it was Carlito. Carlos Rojas. And then this guy, Martinez. We're going to go and take a look at it. Where's his name? Myro Shendrick Martinez. That's just a big name, to be honest. But he's 18. Yeah, kind of excited about that. There was no transactions today in the minor league, so not much going on. Let's see, what time is it? Oh boy, 9:45. So we've been going about a half hour. Yeah, about Dylan Cease. Oh yeah, Yoni Chirinos was DFA'd by the Rays. Anyone that's DFA'd by the Rays is definitely a Dodger target. We can thank them for Evan Phillips. Yeah, getting Dylan Cease. That's the one I want. That's the big one. I mean, I know Otani's bigger, but I'm still doubtful. Ken Rosenthal, had mentioned that he says he's not being traded to the Dodgers. So Rosenthal's usually reliable, but he also said that Max Scherzer was traded to the Padres in 2021. So Kenny's a good dude, but he's human. So I don't know. What a good win today. Chris Taylor, the grand slam. Good pitching by Emmett. He it wasn't like he did struggle a bit, obviously, and some of it was just walks. But then he got it together and got the win. That was really cool. Great bullpen work again. It's awesome. My concern right now with the bullpen is them getting burnt out. We need some horses. We need some innings eaters to come in and throw 6 innings. 7 would be better sometimes. Maybe tomorrow's Grove, so he's gonna go 4 to 5, but we got Julio on Wednesday. Hopefully he will go 7. Oh, I agree. Ultimately, Texas and Baltimore would be prime competitors for Cease. Yeah, they got the prospects to compete. Yeah, they do. And that's a good point. That is a good point. I think our system in general is better, but they might have some of the higher end guys because they've had all the draft picks. That's one of the disadvantages of winning so much is you don't get the best draft picks. But I'll take it. And props to Baltimore especially for really cashing in on their picks and really they're not screwing up too much anymore. Dylan Bundy's and all those types. It's where it's at. You got to nail the draft. When you're that bad and you get that pick, you better nail it. Hopefully, for Pittsburgh has to nail it. So tomorrow it is Michael Grove. Can't remember if the opponent. Let me pull that up really quick. Pitcher for Baltimore. Please be a bad guy. Please be a baddie. Wells. Tyler Wells. He's 7-4, 3.18 ERA in 104 innings, 104.2 innings, 103 strikeouts, and 9.93 WHIP. So he's good. He's a big one. 6'8", 260 from Oklahoma and Tulsa. Okay. Went to Cal State San Bernardino. Oh. It's kind of cool. One of our guys there. I'm trying to see how they got him. I get kind of weirded out on some. I get nerdy about these. I want to see what they did. Oh my gosh, they got him off waivers. Holy smokes! Wow. So that guy bounced around a bit, and he's having a really nice season. So good for him. Hopefully we get to him. It was nice to see the Dodgers really start to get to that Grayson Rodriguez, who looked good. All right. See anything else? Yeah, Tyler Wells is good. Grove, in my opinion, it just seems there's these lapses where he just puts the ball right down the middle. And, I don't know what it is. Hopefully that, pitching's hard. You do one slip, you do one thing. These hitters, they can take him yard, and he's given up too many home runs. And he needs to just give us 5 with 3 runs. That's good enough. If he gives us more, and I think he's capable of more. It's just he's learning. He's still learning, but he's had some good ones. There's a couple bad ones. I mean, his ERA is way too high, 6.89. So, yeah, that's not what we need. But hopefully he does better. You see, he's just given up a lot of hits, so he'll get past it. All the best to Michael Grove and the Dodgers tomorrow. Hopefully we can get some minor league games in tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll be recording or not, but let's see. Yeah, the best scenario is Grove in the pen after the trade deadline. That's where it needs. I mean, they need to flood this rotation with veteran arms because the Grove also is going to start hitting some limits too. All these guys are, and they have to be ready for that, and they have to be able to be ready to make some adjustments. So, all right, that's all I've got for today. Hope you guys enjoyed just the special appearance by Ryan. I appreciate him a lot. I thought his insights were excellent. And, we're going to try and do some more, maybe some Zoom calls that are maybe live. We'll see. Or maybe I'll just throw out the URL to you guys. That might be fun sometime. See if anyone's worth it. Yeah, Grove is good first time through a lot of times. And I think his stuff does seem to play up in the pen. It seems he's got more. But, yeah, let me know your ideas in the chat. Again, I appreciate you all. And any feedback is welcome. Feel free to comment or whatever you need to do to get a hold of me. I appreciate the comments that are out there. This audience is, you guys are on point. Let's put it that way. There's no doubt you guys know what you're talking about, which is great. It makes it really fun to talk with y'all. So, all right, I will talk to everyone later. And let's see. Let me make sure I gotta find my page so I can end this stream. All right. Thanks, everyone. Adios.